I love it. Everybody, welcome back to Variety Talk live in Las Vegas. And what can I say? Guess who I have with me here today? The men themselves, the man with the plan and the man with the guitar in his hand. Welcome back to Variety Talk live in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Lady Linda, and it's great. I don't know. I'm speechless.
Blues that you can feel.
Okay. That's why they call it soul music. All right. And that's exactly what it is. Welcome to the show. First of all, even before I shake your hand, let's give the proper introduction. I have a gentleman with me today who was introduced by the gentleman on the left. And how do I begin except to say that on September the 16th, 1925, a gentleman by the name of Riley B. King was introduced to the world. And this gentleman has grown into being one of the most profound professional guitar players on the planet. And in case anyone has any idea about who, in case you don't have an idea who he is, let's think about maybe some of the songs. Lucille, Freddie King, and many others, and you'll give us the name of them. But anyway, this gentleman is profound, and of course we're all speaking of the legendary B.B. King. So without further ado, I'd like to take time to give great appreciation to a gentleman who has had the honor of knowing this man, knowing the story of this man, and working right along with him for 15 years as his guitarist. We just had an opportunity to share just a few stories over the phone, and I am amazed at the amount. You really need to write a book, by the way, of all of the story, all of the interesting things that have happened during their time as professionalists out there in the world, and just playing for so many millions of people across the country and internationally. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you everyone. They like to call him Charlie Tuna, so we're going to do that too. Mr. Charlie Tuna Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Baby.
Thank you so much. Also, are we okay, Scotty? Can you hear him? All right, great.
Baby didn't like him call me Charlie Tuna. He said, I don't want to hear that. Charles Dennis. He didn't like that.
What would you prefer?
I don't care. Either one of them.
Just call me.
That's right.
I don't care what you call me. Just call me. Well, you know what? As you can tell, my enthusiasm, I'm just bubbling over. And
actually, he and I are so close. His birthday, September 16th, mine September 21st.
Oh, my goodness.
We did the birthday together.
Oh, we happy belated birthday.
Same kind of thing, that's right.
Look at that. That's how tight you are.
That's how close we were.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? Hey, let's take it slow, and let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit, Mr. Charlie Dennis.
Okay.
All right. How did you get involved in music? How did this become your first love?
I was a mama's boy. I couldn't go out the house. I couldn't go to the parties. I couldn't go to nothing. I had to stay in the house. I had nothing to do. And I saw Roy Rogers on TV with all these girls around him in the guitar. I said, that's what I want to do right there. That pays off. And so I got one and spent the time. We talking about 8 or 9 years old. And I got one, and I'm still trying to play it today.
Oh man! So you also, like LaMonte, just started at a very early age.
Early age, yeah. But I used to be angry with my mother because she would never go out the house and go to all these parties and these gangs and stuff. You know, the football, basketball games, stuff like that. And I see it turned out to be for a good reason. Because I would have probably never picked a guitar up, but I had nothing to do, so that's what made me go here.
Amazing.
And now I'm glad.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm glad, too. Just so we can sit together on this day and share two legendary stories, because B.B. King is the legend, but you know what? With you being right there along with him, that makes you a legend as well. So we're honored and pleased to have you here with us today.
But thank you.
And I'll tell you right here at Variety Talk Live in Las Vegas, this time goes fast. So we're going to do a little bit of fast forwarding and try to find out how you and BB actually connected. How did you guys meet?
Actually, it was pretty much a godsend. I was playing, I had my own band playing around here in Vegas, and I would see BB when he go to gamble, and he would, because he liked to gamble, he used to like to play Keno, and I would see the car say B.B. King, and then he have his jacket up like this trying to hide, and a whole bunch of people be following behind him, and he think he hiding, and he go like he went in the Palace Station like that, and it was me. I went in there and I was like, oh man, that's B.B. King. He still think nobody know who he is, right? So anyway, BB was like talk to anybody, because I didn't know who he was or nothing. I just came up to him and said, Mr. King, da da da, and he took the time and sat and talked with me and everything. But he was like, he was such a
down to earth.
All the way down to earth. Anybody and anywhere, he'd talk to him, you know, and
very gracious gentleman.
Very gracious, and you know. Anyway, we got together because I was playing in town, and his keyboard player came down to the place where I was playing, and I had no idea his keyboard player. A guy comes up, say, hey man, can I sit in with you guys? I said, oh sure. He said, I work with B.B. King. I said, oh okay. So he came in, he played. So he went back, and his BB's original guitar player, Leon Warren, was his original guitarist, was sick. He had cancer, and he had to go to the hospital, so BB had asked me to come in and play some dates. And I came in and played the dates, and the guy got out the hospital, and BB said, don't you go nowhere, I like what you're doing. And matter of fact, I'm going to keep both of y'all, and ain't nobody business why. I'm going to keep you, and I want to keep him. And he kept both of us, you know. And then the guy, he had happened to pass away with the cancer deal, and then there I was.
Wow.
And that was like maybe, 12 years ago, maybe. The guy passed, been there long now. So then I started going on the road and doing all the different stuff, which I didn't like at first, because you know, if you're here at home and then all of a sudden every day you're in a different city, that was a little rough in the beginning.
Understood.
You know, and
Understood.
then I got what I like, and then I got caught in between, because you'd go on the road, and then and you'd be like, oh man, I want to go home. I want to go home, and then you go home, and then you go, I want to go back on the road again. You know, I want to go there.
My wife is getting on my nerves.
In and out, you know, all of that, right?
My kids are crying.
I come in for, you know, first time I get in, my wife would fix me all these nice dinners and massage and rub me down. After about the third day, you won't do nothing. Then I'll be like, ain't this time to go? My goodness, you know. So, you know, so that was a lot of experience. It took me a long time, you know. So now I'm trying to get used to being back at home again, because my body is used to moving. Because we went everywhere. We did. He did over like 300 countries.
Oh my goodness.
Or maybe more.
Wow.
You know, I don't know the exact date, huh?
What, 300 dates a year?
300. Yeah, we doing 300 days a day. Well, he had cut it down as he started aging. He cut it down to 250. So we were doing 250. But yeah, that still was a lot.
Down to 250.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. You get so used to moving, because the body, you know, whatever you do, the body get used to that.
Exactly.
And then when all of a sudden you ain't got that many now you like,
yeah,
I'm supposed to be doing something, you know.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, that is a beautiful story, just to find out how you just gravitated in with him and was able to just fit right in, and he loved that sound. He knew that it was something about you that he had to have.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah,
and, yeah, because he's a very great guy, and he do a lot of stuff with different people. Like he didn't really need me because he had Leon, because he kept me before Leon died. You see what I'm saying? So but he said, like I say, he said, I'll keep both of y'all. So Leon was doing, but I had a hard time with Leon, and I understand that because Leon had been there all the time. Here come a new guy coming out on the set, brand
so
new,
Leon is
in
like,
his space,
right.
kind of like the dog, in his space,
yeah.
So he was like, for a while, before he died, him and I became real tight.
Wonderful.
But in the beginning, it was like really rough.
A little competition.
I get on the elevator, the elevator be waiting, and him and I be there. He'll say, I'll take the next one. he wouldn't even go up on the elevator with me.
Man.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Yeah, but then we got to be real tight just before and our 80 passed, because then we became friends, So.
Well, here's something that's really important because we have a little bit of time before we go back.
Okay.
We've had some wonderful greats on with us as we continue to celebrate the legacy and the history of African Americans in the industry. And one of the stories that we heard was that backdoor story about how you're performing on stage, but you actually had to enter the casinos through the back door to be the performer.
Oh yeah.
So, did you experience any of that?
When I came in, you could come through the front door.
All right.
When I came in.
All right. So that's wonderful. So, that's right, because at 14 years, we're talking
we're going way back.
We're talking the 90s.
Yeah,
okay?
you're going
all
way
right.
back. Yeah.
So, which gives me the idea also when we come back, we want to just learn a little bit more about Charlie Dennis and your background in terms of what you did prior to B.B. King as well.
Sure.
All right, so can you play us out? We've got just a little bit of time before we go on a quick station break.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Gee.
All right, everybody, you're watching Variety Talk Live in Las Vegas. We'll be right back. You're sitting in with the man himself, the B.B. King legend, Mr. Charlie Dennis. Charlie Tuna Dennis. We'll be right back.